Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Chess and welcome back to Spooktober day 12. So this is the 12th day of October, right? A few days ago we actually discussed about outer space, right? How it's terrifying, right? How it is just pretty much empty, right? There is no sign of life. Like even if there is, that will be very, 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 very far away from us, right? And then I also said that we already covered about underground. However, we covered like only underground graveyard, right, or catacombs basically, which was in Paris, I believe. So like the whole city. Well, I'm not sure if it's the whole city, or partially the city, or even more than just the city, right? Like beneath that there's like a massive catacombs, right? So yeah, we also talk about uh, like underwater, like like under the ocean, right? I don't know what it's called again, like under the sea or something like that, underwater basically, right? um and yeah, and then I also talk about, since we talk about underground, however, we haven't actually talked about the cave, right? Like a underground cave system, basically. A caves that is deep down in the ground, right? Which might be pretty much creepy, right? Like if you have if you have a kind of phobia or feeling of unsettlement of having a spatial issue, like it's a cramped place, therefore you will feel uncomfortable, right? And then especially if you also fear of darkness, because we know that deep down there is no light, right? There's no sunlight, there is no lamp, like whatsoever, like there's no one there, right? Therefore there is nothing like a lamp, even like mine shaft, that there's lamp, right? But it's just because there it is a site for people for work, right? Like it's for people for working, like mining, right? Therefore in mine shaft there might be like lamps, right? However, in the cave system, like in natural uh, wildlife cave, there is nothing like that, right? Because no one's working there. I mean, duh, like, yeah, right? So there's no lamp, there's no light, and it's cramped, right? Like the place, it might be narrow at some points, right? So it's pretty much a nightmare fuel if you have those two phobia or feeling of unsettlement, right? um, so this one is a cave and cavern. I'm not gonna read all of these because there's actually a lot of these like sub chapter over here or chapters. We're not gonna read all of these. It's more like we'll just like look at the pictures over here, right? So the first one is this, which is Lechuguilla Cave, New Mexico, United States. Okay, so this is in the southern part of the U.S., right? If I remember correctly, because New Mexico is in the south part, right? Um, so yeah, uh, it actually looks massive. This is the person over here, right? There's like a lot of space above the person, so it's a wide cave, I guess, right? Um, the cave like this, I don't think it will be too big. I mean, there's probably only this section over here, and maybe a little bit going on to the left, to the back, and yeah, I guess uh, like this will not be like a spaghetti cave system, like the cave system that if you keep going through it, you will just keep going, right? I mean, this one, it's probably like a massive cave. There might be some like smaller cave, that leads to the spaghetti cave system, which might be the case, right? But I'm not entirely sure. I'm not from the U.S., so you guys tell me about what this looks like, right? Yeah, also in the cave, one thing that is most notable is that will there well I mean uh from most of the cave that I have visited, there will always some sort of like a water, right? Like a spring or yeah, like just a water, basically like a mini lake or something like that, like a river perhaps, right? Or even right. But like there's always water in the cave that I visited anyway. So maybe that's one of this one of the thing from cave. It always has water. I'm not entirely sure, right? So where the water came from, if you ask me, well, I would just probably mention that it's underground water, like water from this one over here, right? From the rock over here, it will just seeps through from the walls and then flowing down and end up in this like a puddle of water over here, right? Um, Sometimes it can be river as well. Like in certain case, right? um, which is also one of the many cave that I visited back like it's a while ago, like it's in 2010 era, I think, like near that time, where we visited the cave and there's actually a river going through it. The most recent cave that I visited was when I was in the university, which is in 2016. And there we had like I joined the like an organization that revolves around like survival, right? Like surviving in the nature, and yeah, a nature community basically. And one of the activity that we did in 2016 was caving. So we visited a cave, and yeah, it's underground as well, and it's partially submerged with water. So I will actually talk about that well, probably I will tell the story right now. Anyway, so it was a cave, right? The cave is not this big. It's actually like a cramped cave. Let's see if we can actually find some place. Not like this. This is still too big because the ceiling is high, right? This is probably like 5 meters or something high, right? The cave that I'm in was not that high. Anyway, yeah, it's probably like this one, exploring a lava tube in Hawaii. Oh, this one's a lava tube. Interesting. It's scary. Like what if there's a seismic activity going on suddenly, right? What will you do in this case, right? So it's scary. Um, is it this shallow? Well, no, I don't think. I mean, it's some at some points in the cave. Yeah, we actually had to crawl, and then not only crawl but also it's submerged with water. So you imagine you're crawling like this, but your uh, your hand and your legs, your legs got got under the water, right? Because the cave was filled with water, and it surprisingly it was also in dry season as well. In my country there's only two season, which is dry season and rainy season. And dry is basically like summer, right? It's dry for about 6 months or so. And surprisingly, even during dry season, the cave still has um, water in it. It's still submerged partially. So yeah, there's that. Uh, it's not always like this, the cave, but like at some points we had to crawl and it's filled with water. But in other cases we can actually walk. And at some point as well, when we walk, there is actually water at the level of my like a stomach or chest even. So yeah, think about it like a 150, like 1.5 meters filled with water, right? And the water was not clean as well. Maybe it was by clean I mean clear, it was, I mean, maybe it was clear because I was like the one in behind, right? So the first person that got into the water probably the sand or the sediment that is at the bottom side of the water probably got mixed, right? So it got dissolved into the water, therefore the water was not clear again, right? So uh, like basically it's hard to see water, right? Like it's still see through, but not that clear. So most of the time I just follow uh, my friends in front of me. Like I just followed them, and didn't go like off track, like didn't go to the side or whatever, like just go straight in the middle, right? Because I'm not risking like tripping into a hole there and then got myself drowned or something, right? Something horrible, right? So yeah, um, yeah, it's actually a great cave. And then in the end of the cave, we actually was like down in the ground, like about 10 meters from the surface. So we actually had to go up with the stair. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it was more than 10 meters because the stairs actually got, like usually when you go up the stairs, it's only one time, right? But this one, we go this way and then we go to the left and then to the right again. So, it's like multi level, right? So it's probably like 20 or 25 meters, I would say. I'm not entirely sure, right? Uh, and it's actually very difficult because we were very tired at the end of the cave. It was actually a long cave. It's like 1.5 hour of trip, I guess, travel in the cave, or even 2 hours. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was like somewhere around 1.5 hour ish exploration, right? Um, we were already tired because most of the time we were submerged under the water, and then we also need to crawl, right? So it's like our legs already feel it's like when you do cardio basically, right? Your legs already got tired, and then your clothes, like your shirts, your pants, got covered in water, right? Therefore you will have to carry that extra weight of water, right? I mean, we can still like remove our clothes, but we still have to bring them, right? We don't just take off the shirt and then leave it there, right? Like that doesn't make any sense, right? We still have to take it home. It means that we need to bring it up through the stairs as well, right? And it's actually very tiring. I remember at the top of the surface, I actually like laying for a moment because I was very tired, right? I was just laying on the ground. So yeah, it's actually quite fun, and it's tiring, and it's also kind of spooky because at it was not fully submerged. Like also there is some parts that's actually dry that we can actually walk through. Um, and I actually look at the sides, and there's actually like a hole, and then I direct my flashlight into it. However, it's one of the scary part as well. When I direct my flashlight into it, I actually didn't see the end of the light, so it's basically just me pointing through something dark, right? So it means that there is actually something down there, right? Like maybe if and it's also like only like about like 50 centimeters in diameter as well, so it's not that big of hole in the side of the cave, right? um I kind of want to check, but however I was scared that what if it is a drop, right? Like like maybe I got slipped and then I fall into the hole, and then it's actually like 10 meters deep, right? Or 25 meters deep, right? Which will be very bad, right? Therefore I didn't check. So and my silliness, I also didn't ask about tour guide basically about that hole, right? Like if it leads to another cave or it's just it's nothing, right? I didn't ask, so at this until this time I didn't know the mystery of that mysterious hole in the cave as well. um does it lead to another cave, or does it just end, like it's just a small hole, right? I'm not entirely sure, right? But yeah, I also kind of wanted to try to throw some pebbles into it, but there's none, like there's no pebbles around that area, so it's actually very difficult to make sure as well, right? I can just throw, and if it makes sound, then I know it's not deep, right? But however, if I throw and then it didn't create any sound, it means that it's very deep hole, right? um, so yeah, there's that, I guess. That's the story of the last time I cave in 2016 in my university. So let's go back up here again. We didn't actually know where this is from. Speleothems in Hall of the Mountain King of Ogof Craig of Finan. Solutional Cave in South Wales. I'm not entirely sure about that. This one, it looks like it's a massive cave, a massive chamber of cave. I guess like this one, at this side, it is like very high, right? But towards the end of there, like at the end of the room, it's probably got narrow, right? So yeah, just like any other cave, right? Because it's like basically like there's a part where it's very high or tall, and then there's the sides will be like short or narrow, right? There's this one, exploring a lava tube in Hawaii. Okay. This one, painted cave, a large sea cave, Santa Cruz Island, California. Oh, this one, um so this one is a cave that like maybe at the side of cliff, probably, right? Like because there is water over here, it's probably like I don't know, it's probably a lake. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe this is like a mountainside and there's like a hole, right? And a cave like this, I don't think it will go deep. Like eventually it will go it will shrink down, right? And you cannot go further inside, right? um I don't think this one leads to anything. Like I don't think there's an exit at the other side, but I might be wrong, right? So let me know again. I don't, but by the logic, I don't think. Uh, so there is two types of cave, right? Like generally speaking, the cave that it's a hole, so there will be an exit at the other side. Like the cave that I was in, basically, because I started from a start and then I came out at the end, right? Through that continuous shallow waterlogged cave, right? Um, and then there's also a cave that is, like a dead end. Basically, you go in and then there's nothing else, right? It's just a wall, basically, at the end, and there's nothing else. You cannot go past through it, right? And then you have to go back to through the same entrance that you just took, right? This one, South Cave in Mount Sodom, Israel. Okay. This one looks like it's the one that you need to like you have to use the rope to go down, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe this is just an angle. Maybe the entrance is from here, and then there is like this one is the dead end, right? However, you can go up through the walls of the cave, right? It might be possible like in Mount, yeah, because it was in Mount as well, right? um Maybe this is that, like like it's just perspective, I guess, because the entrance probably from here, right? But there's also a cave that you have to go down to enter the cave, right? So it's like a massive hole in the ground. Basically, you need the right equipment. I believe there are some uh, places like that, like has big. I only know from movies, right? I haven't actually seen or like a real place. It's just in the movie. However, the movie was taken in real place, so I guess that there's that, right? A glacier. Okay, Glacier Cave. This one reminds me of the SCP random SCP review that we did about the Atohalan, right? I'm not entirely sure. I think when this video is up, it will be already be finished. I think. So yeah, there's that, right? So it's not a spoiler. Glacier Cave. So this is basically a cave that is made of ice, I would say. Like it's a cold cave, right? Well, I mean, any other cave is also cold, because it's underground and it's very humid, right? Therefore, it's cold because of the mist of the water, probably. I'm not entirely sure. Um, Peak for glacier, peak for mountain, Washington. Okay, Washington, right? That's in the U.S. as well, right? Let's see again. See if we can actually find any more pictures. Okay, here we go. Domica Cave in Slovakia. So Slovakia is in the Europe, right? Europe area, right? This one looks like this looks like so this is like a water, right? So this might create a water stream probably because it has layers, right? It has levels, so eventually water from here will flow down the slope, right? um, this one's also the one cave that we actually did back in the day, like back then when I was kid, and then when I think we actually visited the same cave again. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, like again, like I said in 2010 era anyway. So yeah, this one there is like an actually like a step walk or a path, so that we didn't actually go into the water over here, right? There's actually they already provided with the step stone basically so that we can walk on. And also the cave like this, it's pretty much very slippery, so you need to be using the right proper like shoes or sandals, like the anti-slip, the one that has a high quality rubber basically, right? That will prevent you from getting slip, because it's actually a dangerous thing in the cave if you got slipped, right? Because of the slipperiness, you got slipped, and then you lost your balance, and then you hit your hand or your legs or even your head, right, in the hard rock, right, which can make it like bleeding in some way, or like I don't know, like bruises, right? So you don't want that. So you need to be careful if you go caving. You make sure your equipment is right? Maybe also use helmet that equipped with flashlight. So the flashlight is in your helmet. When basically you will always have lights in the direction of your head, right? So that you don't have to grab it with your hand. Like you don't have to carry anything basically, right? And then this one, an entrance of the Torhola Cave in Loja, Finland. I cannot make up what I'm seeing over here. I guess this is like an entrance, like going down there, probably into the abyss. This is also similar with a cave in Australia, I believe. Like, I remember watching a YouTube video about this one, a cave. So it's like in the middle of like savanna or something like that, like grassland basically. But there's no grass, so I guess it's more like a savanna thing, and yeah, there is actually like a hole, like like not really wide hole, right? But once you enter, it's actually a cave system, right? Maybe this is that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. So the entrance is actually at the surface, and then you go down, right? And you will see like down there it is actually much more large area, right? Than the entrance, than what it seemed at first. Like this one. The entrance seems like it is small, but once you're in, you will see that it is actually big, right? And then there's lots of creatures like bats and yeah, I think only bats, right? Um, what else over here? Okay. There's nothing else. Ecology. Oh, what is this? Townsend's big-eared bats in a cave in California. Okay. So it's California again. Oh yeah, so this is a pet, right? Yeah, because cave system. I think creatures that likes to go in cave is bats, and then is there any like four-legged animals that likes to hang in the cave? Maybe, but so far I don't think I see any apart from a trapped cave because usually cave is like down deep down from the surface, right? So if there's an animal down there, they probably got trapped, right? And they cannot go out, and then they just died, right? So I don't think there's actually animals down there in the cave. Um, Apart from flying creatures like bats, right? So maybe if there's another creatures or animals, probably animals that can fly, right? Because they need to go in and go out of the cave like easily, right, and quickly. Alms in a Slovenian cave. Oh, this one is a worm, right? Probably in the water, like in the like water puddle or the lake or the water stream, like this one. Maybe at the side of this, at the corner, probably there is like a worm, right? Is this like a worm? I'm not entirely sure what I'm seeing over here. Is this like an eel or a fish, or it's just straight worm, or it is like a snake? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, there's that, right? Which it looks creepy. Do I want that if I, go caving? Absolutely not, right? If I saw something slithering in the water, back then when I was caving, I would freak out. But thankfully there were none, so it was fine. It was a safe travel basically. What's this? Dino petroglyphs in a cave in Puerto Rico. Okay. Petroglyphs. So this one is basically what is it again? What is called again? Like a markings, a carving in the cave. I'm not in the, what's called again? I think there's a call for that, right? Hieroglyphs is the one in Egypt, right? But this one is just like um caveman drawings, probably. I don't know what it's called. Okay, that's cool. So usually things like this uh will be a prehistoric cave, I guess. Like, so it will be open for like some sort of museum, I guess. Like a museum, right? And it will actually be like there's actually people that guards the area, right? Because this is like a natural preserve basically, right? Like again, like a history, right? Basically like a relic, right? Because of this drawing, you don't want people to vandalize this, right? Obviously. So this might be like some kind of museum in cave, right? um so is there anything else? uh Caves and acoustics. Okay, so that's it then. See also cave gate, subterranean waterfall, caving organizations. See note, list of caves, pit caves. Vertical passage. Yeah, this one, pit cave. This is also scary, right? Because it's basically there is a hole in the ground, right? And then the only access is only through the hole, right? You actually will need like ropes and stuff like that because of the vertical passages. Speleology, science of cave and karst systems. Okay, I don't know what karst mean. I guess karst is more like a cave that's filled with stalactites and stalagmites, but I'm not entirely sure, right? Uh, Speleothem, okay, subterranean river, underground lake. Oh, interesting. So basically, what they're saying is that there is so much other underground stuff, right? So it's not only cave, right? Um, there's like there is waterfall under there. There is a pit which is a cave but it's vertical, and then there's also subterranean river, so it's like a river underwater, and then underground lake, right? Like water. I don't know what it's called again, like water basin or something like that. Yeah, down there, right? It's probably usually when there is a underground lake like this, it means that it is like near on a seismic activity, I believe, right? Uh, why? Because I don't like when I studied chemical engineering, I think there is actually a place where cold water is. Therefore, if there is a cold water, there will be like hot water somewhere else. But I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not, right? And so yeah, there's like near like seismic volcanic things, I think. Well, not really directly next to it, but more like like a few miles away from that, right? There will be like a water basin like that. Then this is the references, and yeah, that's about it, I guess. Related articles, cards, and speleology. Okay. But yeah, I think that will be it for today's discussion about Spooktober Day 12, I guess. Yeah. Next up will be day 13. You probably can already guess what it will be in the 13th day. Yeah, just by the number, right? Yeah, that's like a spoiler, I guess. But yeah, until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again very, very soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see ya.